Hello, beautiful and beloved ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And if you wonder about that weird title, stick around to the end. I'm going to give you a special message about this historic shift from third dimensional reality or consciousness to fifth dimensional reality and consciousness. Never before happened for an entire planet. So that's exciting. But first, we're going to do a reaction to Alip, Sweet Child of Mine. You guys really love him, and I love him too. So let's see what he does with this one. Here we go. Look at him. He's not even looking at it. He's not even looking. He's looking away and everywhere else. That's how much he is. It's like the guitar is a part of him. Let's go back again. Extraordinary. I don't know much about guitar, by the way. I tried to play it for a little while, but if you look at what he was doing there, he's stringing over here, and then he's using his other hand to string way up on the top of the guitar there. What the heck was that, guitar players? Because I've never seen that like that before. So let's go back and see that again. That's got to be something special. If you're a guitar player, you know what he was doing there, let us know. Here we go. So I think he's stringing the higher notes with one hand and the lower with the other pretty much at the same time. That's what I'm seeing. That's amazing. Holy cow. Goodness, this guy is just extraordinary. The way he's fingering that and the complexity of it all. Oh my goodness. And I mean, I've seen guitars with complex stringing, but this is like taking the cake as far as what I've seen. Holy cow. did that, like he slides right on down with the thing. Like, this is unbelievable, like what he is doing here. It's just like he slid right on down for that. Let's go back to that again. Anything. He doesn't need a backdrop. He doesn't need, beautiful clothes. He doesn't need a fancy hat or a fancy setting. Nothing. He just strums that guitar like a wild man. And we love it. Oh my goodness. He is really wonderful, isn't he? Oh, gosh, you gotta love that guy. And my fingers are like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that with the guitar. I mean, I started to play the guitar a couple times, but never followed it through. So, that's that. But who knows? Maybe I'll try again someday when I get the right size guitar. But boy, oh boy, he is just so fantastic. It's like that's a part of his body. He doesn't even have to look. It's just so sure, like his fingers are going to land in the right place. It's going to sound right and everything. I mean, that's just amazing. I wonder, like, was he a child prodigy or something? You guys can put that in the notes. What do you know about this gentleman here? And with such feeling and such emotion, you could see like his whole, body was so into even the melody, but the thoughts of the words, you could kind of see the thoughts of the words in his head. Did you get that experience too? I'd be curious to know. Put that in the notes. By the way, if you're enjoying this, please give me a like and give him a like. It's always in the notes for you. And subscribe. Now let's see. I got to put this on my scale. 1 being very third dimensional, fear, pain, anger, sadness, suffering, and 10 being very fifth dimensional, love, peace, joy, bliss, and just upliftment. And this is so uplifting. And there's so much love in the actual words of the song, which he didn't sing, but we kind of know them, right? So there's so much love, and there's so much beauty in the sound. Beauty's up there too. There's so much beauty in the sound of it. And you can like really feel it on the cells of your body. It just feels so good and so uplifting. So this is really, really high on my scale. So I'm going with a flat out 9.5. Great job, Alip Bata. I hope I pronounced that correct. If it's Alip or Alip, but I'm thinking Alip. So wow. I love doing some of these reactions when they're just so good. It just makes my day. I just have to tell you, it makes my day. But now let's get over. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to know a little bit about me personally, you can go to the About Me video here on the channel, or you can go to the About Lorelei page on Patreon. The link is in the notes. Or if you like to participate a little bit with me, I now have some membership tiers. First membership, you're going to get special videos not on my regular channel. Second tier, you're going to get your fan favorites. Like I'm doing a string now of Dan Vasc, and I'll do a string of yours at some point, right? And then the third tier is where I'm going to give you some content that's really uplifting, kind of I don't know, just going to uplift you in some various different ways. Not reactions, but different kinds of things that will uplift you, like meditations and readings and so on and so forth. Maybe I'll sing there once in a while. So that's that. And if you'd like to join me, I'd love to have you. So now let's look at my message today, which is it's an update to the Mandela effect message that I gave. I gave this on the Novia Bachman video, This Mountain. The Mandela effect, and you should go back to get that entire message and go back to that Novia Bachman, This Mountain. And what's interesting, so if you don't know what, first of all, we're talking about the Mandela effect. And if you don't know what that is, that's this very strange effect where Mandela, well, let's just put it this way. Back about 15 years ago, people started talking about Mandela getting out of jail. And a lot of the population was like, Mandela getting out of jail? What are you talking about? I don't remember the date. You can put it in the notes. Mandela died. We were quite clear. Mandela died. What are you talking about? He's getting out of jail. So there was half of the population, or somewhere, I don't know exactly the percentage, a whole bunch of the population thought that Mandela had died and were very sure of it. And a whole bunch of the population said, no, he's getting out of jail. We knew that, blah, 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 right? And now this became a thing. Like, okay, let's look at where this is happening. People were noticing this happening in all kinds of ways, like in Star Wars, saying, Luke, I am your father. A lot of us remembered very clearly it was that, and a lot of people remember it's no, I am your father. And if you look at the actual video, you're going to see that it's no, I am your father as we speak. So okay, that's really weird. So many people see it one way, so many people see it another. There's things like Jiffy peanut butter, which a lot of people now, they say it's Jif. A lot of people say it's Jiffy. I grew up saying it's Jiffy. What are you talking about, Jif? It's Jiffy, right? And just tons and tons and tons of these different things. So what I spoke about last time was, I should have framed it more because it's really a theory. And I sort of framed it as, this is kind of how it is probably, okay? But it really is a theory. There's a theory out there in the world that what happens is this is connected to the fifth dimensional shift. And as we get on a different sort of timeline or a different path, things change, like they kind of do when you go into the movie, see the movie Back to the Future, and you go forward, and then some things have changed. Well, ours hasn't changed that drastically, but some things have changed. And that's definitely a thing that's going on. It's a timeline shift where we're on a different path now, and it seems like some things have changed, right? So then I posited the theory that I'd heard, which is that in our dream state, what happens is that sort of when we change to another path, then in our dream state, where there's always a lot going on and we don't even know about it, I'm going to do that another video at some point where you can find out what goes on in your dream state, because it's a lot. But in our dream state, we were having sort of new memories dropped into our brain because we were now on a new path where it would be Jif now, or where Mandela was alive, or all of this, And this theory then goes that in the dream state, all of these memories are dropped into our brain, but some people missed the memo. They just didn't get the memo, okay? They weren't sleeping at that time, or who knows what all. It just didn't get into their brain, the new thing, as opposed to some people it did. However, recently then, the conversation came up in one of the groups I go to, Ancient Awakenings, a wonderful group. You should really go there and check it out. I'm going to put that in the notes, and it's also on my page, my personal page at the bottom on Patreon. That what we came to understand by the messages that were given to us at the time, coming from the higher beings, right? There's a system of that where the messages come in and whatnot, and we get to have the messages, that this wasn't exactly accurate as to how this happened. That how this Mandela effect happens is that literally, people on one path have a certain set of experiences, and people on another path literally have a different set of experiences. Now, that sounds crazy to us. It's normal in our life every day. Of course, we have different experiences than our neighbor, than my mother, than, all the people around the world. We all have different experiences. But to consider that an entire collective group of people have a different experience about a known fact, such as Mandela being alive or not alive, versus another whole group of people have a different experience about that. That seems crazy. That seems mind-boggling. That seems like, how could that possibly happen? I can't even tell you how it could possibly happen. But this is the information that we were given, that literally, as a collective, one set had a certain experience and the other set had a different experience based on what timeline they are on. And this has something to do with the quantum nature of our reality, something we really never considered. We never considered this quantum nature of reality, to us it feels stuck, right? It feels like this is how it is, right? Mandela died or Mandela didn't die. This is how it is. But there's something about that quantum nature of reality that makes it possible for different realities to exist at the same time. Crazy, huh? I'm not exactly 100%. I think that our human brains cannot fathom that. It's like so, our limited human knowledge, understanding, and brains just can't even fathom that. But that's the information that I was given. And you can consider that like as another quote unquote quote theory, although given who it was given to us and me by, I feel like this is a better assessment of what's really going on. But you, of course, have your own free will to choose what theory you think makes sense. We'll call it a theory, for lack of a better word, and choose what makes sense to you. And maybe there's a different one you'll come up with, right? And we're told that the interesting nature of reality as well is that truth, truth. I mean, there are some universal truths, but a lot of times for truth, what is true for one person, because you're a divine spark of God, may not be true for another. And what is true for that person may not be true for another, because each is an individual divine spark of God with the ability to shape his or her world as he or she sees fit. Although we don't necessarily remember that we have that power, we are certainly utilizing that power. So you always want to take what anybody else says to you, even from the higher beings or whatever, and pass it through what is really true for you. So, okay, beloved ones, I wanted to bring you that message so that we could sort of update and I could be a little more in line with what I understand to be quote unquote true. But again, the nature of truth is an interesting thing. It's a shifting, interesting thing. So, okay, beloved ones, maybe that's a good video. The nature of truth might be a good video. The nature of the quantum reality might also be another good video. So I'll try to remember that. But anyway, so now I'm going to finish up. I'm going to send you that beautiful fifth dimensional energy, the love, the peace, the joy, the bliss, the abundance, the fun, the play, the ease coming at you now. Namaste. I honor the God in you.